We are right now 40 days away and counting from the start of the college football season. We wanted to take advantage of the fact that we have Maria here for the week, and you'll see her on College Game Day all season long and everything else. So we wanted you to count down for us, if you could, on the fundamental list this morning, the top 5 storylines as we look forward to the college football season.
All right, let's start at number 5. One of my biggest storylines to watch is that there's 6 new SEC head coaches, including Jimbo Fisher. Remember, he left Florida State. Now he's at Texas A&M. He's the $75 million man. Matt Luke, we're counting him at Ole Miss. He was an interim head coach, but now he's the head. Dan Mullen, he's the scariest new head coach. He's now at Florida. Chad Morris taking over at Arkansas. Jeremy Pruitt, another former Nick Saban DC, taking over at Tennessee.
Yeah, it's a time of change in that conference, and it goes to show you with all. I did a list of the top 5 coaches in the SEC last week, and obviously Saban goes number 1, and I put Jimbo Fisher at number 2 based on all the things that he has accomplished.
He's got talent.
It's a time of transition in that conference because everyone is constantly chasing Alabama, and it forces teams sometimes to react.
It's the Saban effect. That's what we call it at all times,
Fair
basically.
enough.
I mean,
all right, what's 4?
All right, Chip Kelly, he's making his return to college football. And that's a big deal because Chip Kelly was the innovator of the up-tempo offense. I mean, he changed the way college football is played in a lot of ways at every level of the sport, even the NFL inserting a little bit of up-tempo, hurry up and go. But the game has changed since he's left. So will he be able to have the same magic and spark at UCLA as he did at Oregon when he made it to 4 straight New Year's Six Bowls and almost won a national championship 2011? And remember, he had a Heisman Trophy winner while he was there.
You got to value his defense, and it's great to have the up-tempo, Maria, as you know, but at some point of the game, you have to manage the clock.
Yeah.
And that caught up with him in the NFL. It's going to be interesting to see if he finds that unique balance.
Well, and also the game's evolved, so I think defenses have caught up to the up-tempo offense. They've gotten a little bit faster, defensive linemen have gotten faster, and linebackers, they play a different role now, so Chip Kelly is going to have to adjust some.
Number 3.
Number 3, we've got Team Jalen.
Let's get it.
Or Team Tua. Because who is going to be the starter at Alabama? That's a storyline we're going to watch this entire season. Jalen Hurts, 26-2 as a starter for Alabama, has gotten them to 2 straight national championship games and only threw, count them, 1 interception a season ago. That is something that Nick Saban certainly values. Meanwhile, Tua Tagovailoa, he jumped into the national championship game, threw the touchdown that won the entire game. So do you start him or do you start Jalen?
Or do you do what Lane Kiffin suggested Saban will do, and that is play them both so neither one of them transfers?
But listen.
Kiffin, I mean, he did say that last week.
He did say that. But Jalen could graduate in December and transfer and play somewhere else if he had to. But there's no way that he's going anywhere this season. If you make Tua your starter, you make him happy, you know you're going to keep him for the long run, you get at least 2 more years out of him. I mean, I don't know what Saban's going to do, but I just know it's going to be a storyline.
Well, for the best of both worlds, here's what you do if you're Jalen. You graduate in December, you play a great season with Alabama, you see how this plays out, and you be spiteful. Go play with Lane Kiffin after this.
Ooh,
that's exactly what you do.
Because that's your boy, right?
Yes, indeed. That's
he made you an offensive player of the year. I see.
Yes,
Jalen's. You better talk to your boy.
All right, what's number 2?
Number 2, we're on HEISMAN watch. Who's it going to be? Baker Mayfield's gone, Lamar Jackson's gone, and they both were in New York for the last 2 seasons. Bryce Love, he was a guy who made it to New York a season ago. He led all rushers in the Power 5, over 2,000 yards a season ago. Damian Harris, he's the running back at Alabama. I always count any running back who is at Alabama. There's a chance that you could be the guy. Khalil Tate from Arizona, he came out of nowhere and was a big deal. Jonathan Taylor, he led Big Ten in rushing as a freshman. There's a lot of great options, a lot of running backs, I think. But we just don't know at all for the first time in a long time.
Feels more wide open than it has in years past. And obviously at number 1, you'll have the new facilities at Northwestern, which people say are the top in the entire country.
Yeah, people were, they talk about that as much as they do the ink on your hand. Like it's obviously an intriguing storyline.
But okay, what is actually
obviously very important?
I will contest this regardless of what you chose, but what is number 1?
Is it Bama or bust? That's ought to be the question for like the next 10 years, I feel like, or as long as Nick Saban's at Alabama. Are they the hand or odds-on favorite to win a national championship? I personally say no because Clemson, they have 17 returning starters. Their defensive line is going to be ridiculous, and no other team over the past decade has won more games than Clemson. or than Alabama. So it's 1 and 2. They're right there. They've got their quarterback back, and I just feel like there's a chance that they could make waves. They're definitely going to win the ACC.
Bama or the field right now?
The field.
Take the field.
You got to always take the field. I'm going with Dabo Swinney in particular. Don't sleep on what's happening in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm just saying.
And
we have a really good football team as well.
No one ever got rich betting
Shea
against.
Patterson.